of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. The first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
It was almost as if it were a planned implosion. It just pancaked.
Either you are with us, or you are with the terrorists.
But I also believe that a lot of gun owners would agree that AK-47s belong in the hands of soldiers, not in the hands of criminals.
Guns will be taken, and no one will be able to be armed. We have to take all weapons.
For many of the police and guard troops, it is an uncomfortable job to do this in an American city.
Global governance at last. Is it one world, the central bankers in charge? But aren't we all just living and dying for what the central banks do?
As for me, give me liberty or give me death!
The answer to 1984 is 1776.
Welcome to the InfoWars Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. It's January 29th, 2014, and let's get straight into our top story tonight. Obama promises to enact gun control with or without Congress. Now, this is no surprise to me because he said he wouldn't take your rifle away, he wouldn't take your shotgun away. Meanwhile, he's in the debates with Romney saying he wants to get rid of cheap handguns, he wants to get rid of AK-47s, and this is just more proof positive of those things he said way back then. I intend to keep trying, said Mr. Obama, trying with or without Congress to help stop more tragedies from visiting innocent Americans in our movie theaters, shopping malls, or schools like Sandy Hook. Citizenship means standing up for the lives that gun violence steals from us every day. And I like how he brings in the citizenship aspect because, you know, if you're a citizen, if you want to become a new citizen, I think is really what he's saying here. Just come to our country, give up your rights, give up your gun rights, or never own a gun in general, and that will make Mr. Obama very, very happy. It's just another one of these things, I'm not going to take your guns away. You can keep your health care plan, your taxes won't increase, or any number of whoppers that he's given out in the past. And we have more on this because people are tired of hearing all these whoppers. CNN poll, 67% oppose Obama's executive actions. Well, I'm glad to see that people are starting to wake up to this. A CNN ORC poll of viewers who watched last night's State of the Union address found that 67% opposed Barack Obama's plan to pursue his political agenda via executive orders. Just 30% said they want Obama to take unilateral action, with 67% opposing his executive agenda. I think people are finally starting to realize that if I give all these powers to Barack Obama or George Bush or Bill Clinton or whoever it may be, then the next person will have all these same powers. And that's the thing that you don't want, because maybe you think it is okay for Obama to come in like a tyrant and say, yes, you can do this. No, you can't do that. I'll act without Congress. I'll go to war without Congress. I'll take away your guns without Congress. But when people realize this, well, maybe the next guy may be a Republican, and you have to break out of this left-right paradigm, but they say maybe the next guy will be a Republican, and I don't want him to have all those same powers. That's the mindset you have to have. Get rid of the left-right paradigm and don't give powers to Obama if you don't want somebody else to have those same powers. Now, somebody has been very critical of President Obama, and I can't really blame him. This is Representative Weber. Obama is a socialistic dictator. And this is Randy Weber from Texas. He tweeted out, on the floor of House, waiting on Commandant-in-Chief, the socialistic dictator who's been feeding U.S. a line, or is it a line? And, other people have had similar comments. Rand Paul came out with some comments, not as eloquent as these, but, people are waking up to this and they're speaking out because they say it's rude to stand up during Obama's speech and call him a liar or call him a dictator. Maybe that is bad manners, but I also think it is bad manners to stand up there in front of your audience, being the American people, and just lie to them. Yes, miss, I'll give you a new house, or no, your taxes won't increase, or yes, you can keep your current health care plan, or, you set the red line for Syria, not me. Just to go up there and lie to people, I think that's just as disrespectful as any comments that may be made later. So, you can say which is first, the chicken or the egg, but, I guess the roosters are coming home to roost, or however that saying goes. We'll move on to more comments on the speech from last night. This is Krauthammer. When Obama repeated Guantanamo, you knew he'd sort of run out of ideas. Now, this is conservative commentator Charles Krauthammer, and he said these about the State of the Union address, and he called it the chestnut speech because they're full of old chestnuts. And he says, when he repeated Guantanamo, which is a cause he gave up on himself years ago, you knew he had run out of ideas. And yeah, you know, even back when I was an Obama supporter, I voted for him back in 2008, you know, he said, I'm going to shut down Guantanamo Bay. And I'm thinking, what are you going to do with all these people, you know, in Guantanamo Bay? You're either going to have to release them or move them to some other site. You know, so he's going to take the prisoners out of Blackgate and move them to Arkham Asylum is seemingly what he appears to be doing to me. He wants to move these people to a black site with even less oversight from the U.S. so people won't know about what's going on in these prisons like Guantanamo Bay. And not just that, you still got troops overseas, and nothing he's really said would happen except, you know, the deterioration of your rights. Now we'll move from Obama to somebody who actually deserves a Peace Prize. You know, Obama has his Peace Prize, but Edward Snowden, the guy who gave us all the information on PRISM and the NSA, the lawmakers in Norway want to give Edward Snowden the Nobel Peace Prize. And I'm all for it. And not only me, but us here at InfoWars, we have a Facebook page, Award Edward Snowden the Nobel Prize. And you can go to Infowars.com. You can link to that site and vote for Edward Snowden right there. Give him a thumbs up. If nothing else, just give the guy some encouragement. And we need to support these guys like Snowden, and, you know, say, well, let's just give him the guy a thumbs up on a Facebook page. That may be the morale booster he needs, because if he wins the Nobel Prize, lo and behold, he does, and I wouldn't have any problems if he did. We just need to show these guys support, not just guys like Snowden, but guys like Sheriff Nick Finch in Florida. He said, you know, I'm not going to have these unconstitutional laws in my county. He throws out a case about a guy who was arrested for a legal, lawful weapon. The system came after him, but thanks to the work from constitutional sheriffs like Sheriff Mack, Nick Finch was able to beat the rap and beat the ride. And we have to support these guys and show them that we really, truly appreciate the things that we do. So we'll go from a guy like Sheriff Nick Finch to now the people up in Illinois, you know, those gun grabbers up there who don't want you to be armed. And this is case in point. Now, they have the medical marijuana going on in Illinois, and you may say, well, that's a good thing. Well, it's kind of a bad thing, because to smoke your medical marijuana, they don't want you to have your concealed carry. They don't want you to be a licensed weapon holder. So this is the situation that we see. And if you look at this is page 34 in the Illinois Register of the Department of Public Health, and it says, registered qualifying patients and designated caregivers are not eligible for a firearms owner identification card or a firearms concealed carry license. So if you want a right to treat yourself medically, and as far as I'm concerned, medical marijuana is just as good as anything you can get at the pharmacy, maybe even better, because you don't have all these weird guys in lab coats making things in their basement. But, you know, they want you to give up your right to medicate yourself as you see fit, and exchange that for your right to bear arms. And I don't think you should have to do that. Just like here in Texas, they want you to give up certain rights to be able to concealed carry or maybe even open carry. They don't want you to open carry at the Capitol anymore because somebody made a policy or whatever. I still don't even know what that's about. Just tyranny all around. Keep your guns and medicate yourself. We have that movie, American Drug War 2, and it's just about this topic, about a family who wanted to medicate their child using cannabis, using marijuana, and they shut it down, and, you know, lo and behold, the child died. It's a very sad story, and you can find that at the InfoWars shop. Now we'll move on from a child dying to now a child being molested by the TSA. This happened to actor Alec Baldwin. TSA, a disgrace for patting down my infant daughter. This is the tweet from the controversial actor Alec Baldwin. Flying to Nassau, Bahamas to New York, TSA random selects my 5-month-old daughter for a pat down. I am not kidding. And this is no laughing matter. Regardless of what you feel about Alec Baldwin, his controversial comments, he yells at people in the streets, the paparazzi and so forth. You know, have mercy for this guy's child. Why do you need to pat down a little girl? When we flew out to California, myself and the crew recently here, we saw an old man, you know, probably fought in some more, wheeling himself through the TSA checkpoint. They make the guy stand up and check the wheelchair, even though it was a TSA wheelchair. It was an airport wheelchair, like he hauled it out and put a bomb in there. Why would this guy want to do this? Why would a little baby want to blow up the airport? Maybe they thought Alec Baldwin put something in the baby's diaper. It's just complete idiocy. I don't know why people put up with this. And it's not just in your airports. You remember the report I did maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago now, where I went to the Austin airport and I asked people about the Viper teams. What do you think if the Viper teams show up to the Super Bowl? Well, most people really didn't care about that. But, you know, we cared about that. So we're actually going to the Super Bowl. I myself will be part of a small crew that goes up to the Super Bowl in New Jersey. We got tickets to this excessively cold Super Bowl. I don't know why they can't have a Super Bowl in Miami or San Diego, someplace where it's nice and warm. They want to have it in an open air stadium when they have, 6 inches of snow. But regardless, we want to go out there and document the police state. We're going to document the Viper teams. And we have this article from Adon Salazar. TSA Super Bowl fans may encounter a Viper team. Well, Mr. Viper team or head of the Viper teams, if you are out there, you will encounter info wars because we don't want this tyranny going on in the United States of America. So we'll be out there. We'll be at the tailgate. We may encounter the Viper teams at a checkpoint. We'll be inside the Super Bowl documenting any Illuminati, demonic, devil worship halftime shows, which I don't know. I believe it's supposed to be the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Bruno Mars. I'm not sure how those guys are as far as their performances. But, yeah, we'll be out there. We'll be on scene, and you can see us right here in the InfoWars Nightly News, as well as the Alex Jones radio show. And we couldn't do things like this without your support. Just to do basic stuff, like Alex says, who wants to go out to the Super Bowl? Now, being in the state of Texas, we don't have cold gear, so we had to go out to the store and buy just basic coats and hats and stuff that we don't normally need in the state of Texas. And this is due to your support. When you go to prisonplanet.tv, when you get yourself a free trial, and you can get the Alex Jones Show, the nightly news, the special reports, the rants, and we do this stuff for you guys because we appreciate what you do, and in return, you support us and helps us go out and do more things. But not just Prison Planet, you can also go to the InfoWars shop. Many great products there. You can get the hats, the T-shirts, the bumper stickers, the InfoWars life supplies, the nascent iodine, the survival shield, the super male vitality. All that is on InfoWars shop, and it supports our broadcast.
And just finally, before we let you go, since we have you here, we haven't had a chance to kind of talk about some of the...
I'm not thinking about anything that's off topic. This is only about the president.
Well, what about...
Thank you.
All right, so Congressman Michael Grimm does not want to talk about some of the allegations concerning his campaign finances. We wanted to get him on camera on that, but he, as you saw, refused to talk about that. Back to you.
That was Michael Grimm, a politician from New York, threatening a journalist because he dared ask him a question. This is the mental illness of some of these politicians. We hear at the Bilderberg meetings, you can't even look these people in the eye. If you're a waiter, if you're the valet, if you dare look at them, they're like, what's wrong with you? They don't want to give you a tip. And it just continues here. And we're tired of this media intimidation because you guys have seen our videos. We don't really like to back down from the authorities. Well, I'll say, sir, like, why do you want me to turn my camera off? Or, sir, why can't I film that? Or whatever it may be. But in New York, they obviously intimidated this young man, the gentleman. I shouldn't call him a gentleman. Michael Grimm threatened to throw him over the banister and so forth. So we wanted to get the opinion of a real New Yorker, Gerald Celente. He has many things to say about this. He said these comments on the Alex Jones radio show.
Did you see that congressman from Staten Island that's making the news, Representative Michael Grimm? Perfect name for the cat. How he threatened that little reporter from New York 1 to throw him over the balcony and cut him in half. You know who Michael Grimm is? It's perfect. A former FBI agent. Go to Wikipedia, look it up. This guy, New Yorker magazine, did a story on him about how he went into a nightclub and threatened this guy and said that they'll never find him again, or words to that effect, and then came back twice and one time pulled a gun and played the "I'm the FBI." Another guy, these tough guys, that threaten little boys. And by the way, If you or I were to send a letter to Grimm or Pelosi or Dianne Natu Feinstein and threaten to throw them off a balcony and cut them in half, those FBI guys, they'd be there, man, having us face down, beating the crap out of us.
That's what I was about to say is Cuomo says if you don't agree with him politically, get out of the state. They're threatening to kill people.
But this is a direct threat.
No, I agree. They're gangsters. They're gangsters. And what's happening to him now after he did this?
Nothing. They apologized, and everything will be okay. Again, the word justice is Justus. Just us. No Wall Street heads go. Again, if you or I sent a threatening letter to a congressman, they would lock us up.
Well, that's it for the InfoWars Nightly News, but stay tuned because soon we'll be giving you those broadcasts from New York, New Jersey, giving those Super Bowl updates, and not just talking about the Super Bowl because that's not the real topic. The real topic is the overall police state infecting our country where you have to get patted down to even go see a football game, to where they have the boats and the cameras and the drones and all this other stuff that's saying you can't even bring in your own bag. You have to use a little plastic baggie, Ziploc bag, or buy your NFL bag. You know, of course they'll sell you a bag because it's safe, because it's for the children. So we'll bring you all those reports coming up at the end of this week. But in the meantime, this is it for the InfoWars Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson, and we'll see you again tomorrow night.
Now you can watch The Alex Jones Show live as it happens at Infowars.com/show.
You'll find links to all of our content there and a free 15-day trial for Prison Planet TV.
More than 60 movies and documentaries all in one place at Infowars.com/show.
See the rest of the nightly news at our sister YouTube channel, The Info Warrior, or become a member of PrisonPlanet.tv and help us take the message of freedom and liberty to the next level. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to this channel.
It was almost as if it were a planned implosion. It just pancaked.
Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
But I also believe that a lot of gun owners would agree that AK-47s belong in the hands of soldiers, not in the hands of criminals.
Guns will be taken. No one will be able to be armed. We have to take all guns.
For many of the police and guard troops, it is an uncomfortable job to do this in an American city.
Global governance at last. Is it one world? The central bankers in charge. But aren't we all just living and dying for what the central banks do?
As for me, give me liberty or give me death!
The answer to
councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. The first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting.
It is a big idea, a new world order.